Hi, everybody. I'd like to tell you a story, and this story is about a man named Tim. First, I'm going to tell you the story fairly quickly, and then I'm going to show you the story again, and I'm going to ask you many questions about the story. So, this is Tim. His name is Tim. And Tim is outside. You can see he's outside, right? There's a blue sky, there's the sun, there's the sidewalk. He's outside. So Tim is outside, and it is sunny. It's a sunny day, and Tim feels hot. He feels very hot. Yep, Tim feels hot. He is thirsty. He is thirsty. Tim wants to drink something. He sees a store. There's a store. He sees a store. Tim goes into the store. He goes into the store. Inside the store, Tim sees a can of Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola costs $1. The Coke costs $1. Tim wants to buy the Coca-Cola, but he does not have $1. He doesn't have $1, so he can't buy the Coca-Cola. Tim is sad. Tim leaves the store and he goes outside. Then he looks down. He sees a coin. He picks up the coin. Now Tim is happy. He has $1. Now he can buy the Coca-Cola. So Tim goes back into the store with his $1, and Tim buys the Coca-Cola. Tim leaves the store with the Coca-Cola. Tim drinks the Coca-Cola. Now Tim is not thirsty anymore. The end. Now I'm going to tell you the story again, but this time I'm going to ask many questions. I'll tell you the story again, but I'm going to ask you many questions, and you already know the answer. You already know the answer. But I'm just going to ask you these questions, and they're mostly yes or no questions. So you can answer the questions or you can just listen. This is Tim. His name is Tim. Is his name Bob? Is his name Bob? No, his name is not Bob. His name is not Bob. Is his name Tim? Is his name Tim? Yes, his name is Tim. His name is Tim. Tim is outside. Tim is outside. Is Tim inside? There's a picture of inside up in the corner there. Is he inside? Is he inside? No, he's not inside. Is he outside? Is he outside? Yes, Tim is outside. And it is sunny. It is very sunny. Is it cloudy? There's a picture of cloudy. Do you see the picture of cloudy? That's a picture of cloudy. Is it cloudy? No, it is not cloudy. It isn't cloudy. Is it rainy? Is it rainy? Is it rainy? No, it's not rainy either. It's not rainy. Nope, it's not rainy. Is it sunny? Is it sunny? Yes, it is sunny. It's very sunny. Tim is hot. Tim feels hot. Does Tim feel cold? Look at Tim up there. He's cold. Does Tim feel cold? No, Tim does not feel cold. Tim feels hot. Tim feels hot. Does Tim feel hot? Yes, Tim feels hot. And Tim is thirsty. Is Tim hungry? Is Tim hungry? No, Tim is not hungry. He's not hungry. Is Tim thirsty? Yes, Tim is thirsty. He's very thirsty. He wants something to drink. Does Tim want something to eat? No, Tim does not want something to eat. Does Tim want something to drink? Yes, Tim wants something to drink. Tim sees a store. Does Tim see a house? Does he see a house? No, Tim does not see a house. He does not see a house. Does Tim see a store? Yes, Tim sees a store. He sees a store. Tim goes into the store. Does Tim come out of the store? Does he come out of the store? No, Tim does not come out of the store. He does not come out of the store. Does Tim go into the store? Yes, Tim goes into the store. He goes into the store. Tim sees a can of Coca-Cola. Does Tim see a can of Pepsi? Does he see a can of Pepsi? No, Tim does not see a can of Pepsi. He does not see a can of Pepsi. Does Tim see a can of Coca-Cola? Yes, Tim sees a can of Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola costs $1. $1. Does the Coca-Cola cost $3? No, the Coca-Cola does not cost $3. Does the Coca-Cola cost $2? Does it cost $2? No, the Coca-Cola does not cost $2 either. It does not cost $2. Does the Coca-Cola cost $1? Yes, the Coca-Cola costs $1. Tim wants to buy the Coca-Cola. Does Tim want to buy a Pepsi? No, Tim does not want to buy a Pepsi. Does Tim want to buy Coca-Cola? Yes, Tim wants to buy the Coca-Cola. But Tim does not have $1. Does Tim have $1? Does Tim have $1? No, Tim does not have $1. Can Tim buy the Coca-Cola? No, Tim cannot buy the Coca-Cola. Tim is sad. He's sad. Is Tim happy? No, Tim is not happy. He's not happy. Is Tim sad? Yes, Tim is sad. Tim leaves the store. Does Tim go into the store? Does he go into the store? No, Tim does not go into the store. Does Tim leave the store? Yes, Tim leaves the store. Then Tim looks down. He looks down. Does Tim look up? Does Tim look up? No, Tim does not look up. He does not look up. Does Tim look down? Yes, Tim looks down. He sees a coin. He sees a coin. Does Tim see a bottle of Coca-Cola? No, Tim does not see a bottle of Coca-Cola. Does Tim see a can of Pepsi? No, Tim does not see a can of Pepsi either. Does Tim see a coin? Yes, Tim sees a coin. Tim picks up the coin. Does Tim put down the coin? No, Tim does not put down the coin. Does Tim pick up the coin? Yes, Tim picks up the coin. Now Tim is happy. He has $1. Is Tim sad? Is he sad? No, Tim is not sad anymore. Is Tim happy now? Is he happy? Yes, now Tim is happy. Does Tim have $1? Yes, he has $1. And now he can buy the Coca-Cola. Tim goes back into the store. Does Tim go home? Does Tim go home? No, Tim does not go home. Does Tim go back into the store? Yes, Tim goes back into the store. Tim buys the Coca-Cola. Does Tim buy a can of Pepsi? No, Tim does not buy a can of Pepsi. Does Tim buy Coca-Cola? Yes, Tim buys the Coca-Cola. Tim leaves the store with the Coca-Cola. Does Tim leave the store without the Coca-Cola? No, Tim does not leave the store without the Coca-Cola. Does Tim leave the store with the Coca-Cola? Yes, Tim leaves the store with the Coca-Cola. Tim drinks the Coca-Cola. Does Tim eat the Coca-Cola? No, Tim does not eat the Coca-Cola. Does Tim drink the Coca-Cola? Yes, Tim drinks the Coca-Cola. Now Tim is not thirsty anymore. Is Tim still thirsty? No, Tim is not thirsty. He's not thirsty anymore. The end. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed the story. Goodbye.